Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and we are here to talk about the main event, the event that almost changed football forever, man. The European Super League. We've got two Manchester United fans, we've got a Chelsea fan, the Spurs fan, and you've got me, the Arsenal fan. And this is how you know it's serious. We'll all come together. That's how you know it's serious times now, yeah? So the European Super League, unless you've been living under a rock this week, yeah, the European Super League lasted 2 days of absolute and shock. And that was and I am gonna start with technically the self-proclaimed savior club of the start of the European Super League exit. Harun, give us your thoughts. Chelsea saved the day. The club that effectively started on madness with investors has come to save us.
Yeah, bro.
Smart.
It's crazy. It's funny. It's funny how things turn out. You know what I mean? Basically, start off as ruining football, and now saving football. You know what I mean? So, Abramovich came in 03, first billionaire oil money. Apparently, definitely changed the game, but apparently ruined the game. Now we've got the Saudis with City. We've got Daniel Levy and other owners, like rich owners. The Glazers, they're everywhere. Billions are everywhere. But it was the original first one that came in, Roman Abramovich, the most hated, who saves the day. Honestly, in all honesty, even when he came in, if you remember John Terry when I don't know if you guys watched it. I doubt you guys watched it, but John Terry when he was leaving, saying his goodbyes and stuff on the pitch, he was like, Abramovich is that guy. He cares from top to bottom. The women's team, the youth academy, blah blah blah. Like, he really cares. And obviously now the proof's in the pudding. You know what I mean? The proof's in the pudding. So, if anything, I was actually very close to going to the protest, but I got busy, so I couldn't go. But yeah, it was. I'm very glad it happened. Me watching it, the pride of London. What can I say? I'm a proud fan right now. I'm a proud fan.
You know what? Yeah, it almost hurt me for a second seeing Petr Cech in the mixer. Trying to reason with the fan. He's not that guy who's gonna be standing up to crowds. Like when he speaks, you listen. I was just like, hey,
Yeah.
everyone,
Chelsea. But they listened. They listened in the end. They like he said. He was like, you guys have to calm down, give it time, and just disperse. And they listened. They started walking away in different directions in that. So I guess he was effective. He is that legend in it. You can't really hate Czech. I think you can't hate him. If Lampard came out, bro, it would have been a concert.
Okay, Harun. Yeah. So Ricky, Tottenham. Let me introduce Ricky. Right, Ricky's a resident Tottenham fan here today. Let him have his water. You know what I mean? Let him have his water. Let him clear his throat. Let him get his voice ready. But yeah, this Super League. What are your thoughts on this? And did you honestly, banter aside, did you think Tottenham would be in there once you heard that it would be starting up? What are your thoughts? Because I know you've got a lot to say. You've got the floor right now, Ricky. You're on mute.
You're weird.
Yeah. Oi. Well, Ricky's dropped out for una momento. So
that was like the Super League, man. Just coming up and left.
I
think you pressed the wrong button. You must press the wrong button.
Yeah.
I'll go straight on.
Back, yeah.
I'll
if I just say to Chelsea fans, we as United fans, we owe you guys a lot, because on Saturday you guys managed to stop City from winning the quadruple. That was huge for us. Like, I couldn't take it. Like, can you imagine the amount of disrespect they would have done to Alex Ferguson all his 27 years, man? So for you guys to do that and then to lead the way to stopping this European Super League, essentially, that you guys have done it, man. At the end of the day, I don't blame Chelsea as much as I blame Liverpool, United, and Arsenal. So what you guys have done is, especially Roman Abramovich. You know, Abramovich is someone who actually cares about football. Yeah, he's not like the Glazers. He's not like Stan Kroenke. He's not who's the other one? John Henry. These guys, they don't care about football. This guy Roman Abramovich, you could see his expression, like when Chelsea lost the Champions League final, he was so sad about it. You could see he was definitely hurting. John Henry and Glazers and these guys, the only time they turn up is when they know the team is actually winning for real. I will get Ricky back, so you have the station.
Yeah, take it away.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Technical issues live. So we're talking about my opinion about the news, what's happened. Sorry, I'm repeat your question.
Yeah, your opinion about the Super League in general, and just your thoughts about Tottenham being part of it. Whatever you want to say about it, floor's yours.
Because you're asking someone that is very expert, and you're asking someone that's a huge NFL fan. You know, I'm like we've spoken before in the past. Like I've got a huge American heritage on my fan where I support NFL. I'm a huge fan of the NFL. I understand that commercials generate income and everything. So, but me being a Spurs fan and me growing up as a little child playing football, I'm pretty sure like most of you guys, it's very important for everyone in the world to know where sport has come from originally. It's English, you know. It, we don't want to turn it into some sort of money-making sort of system that's become in the last 2 decades, and it's worrying. I'm very surprised that we decided to out because of the amount of investors that Daniel Levy has got behind him. You know, you're looking at a board of 12 to 15 people to make a decision for Tottenham Hotspur, and that is normal now to a lot of clubs. So people have to, like us, have to understand that it is business. However, I'm very intrigued to see what is going to happen now in the next couple of years. We are going to be seeing what our players, I'm going to say Harry Kane, out there who would probably jump to a chance of selling his his sort of passion for football to get trophies, and if he's not going to get trophies over here or for Spurs or anywhere else, my opinion, go to China. You know, if you want to earn money in football and you're really good at the sport, go to the Super League in China. Yeah, but if you've really got a huge passion for support for the sport, and you remember as a little child why you play that sport, then play for your club, meaning for your club. But the minute that you start thinking about this, which is spreading so much now through footballers, then that's when we are going to really lose our heads with the sport.
I absolutely agree with you, Rick. And as a guy who also follows somewhat some American sports, a bit of basketball here and there, a bit of NFL here and there, I see these sports as I wouldn't want to change those sports into a format like football. It's like going to it's almost like going to Italy. I don't want to go to to McDonald's in Italy if I go there. I want to go to something that encapsulates the tradition of that area. And at the end of the day, what these owners have tried to do is basically throw everything without understanding as well, everything out the window for this agenda. But let me stop speaking Abdi, first we'll come to you, then we'll come to Kay. You two are Manchester United fans. You Glazed, you guys, your owners signed off the statement that released this thing, and you now have Woodward out, so that's a good sign. But what is your thoughts on this first, Abdi?
Bro, all I can say is this, yeah. Like right now, what you guys are seeing what the Glazers are, exactly what they are. So for a long time, United fans have been saying these guys, we want them out of the club, and everyone used to be like, "Oh, they spend money, they give you guys money. Your players are rubbish. Your players are this and that." No, I always used to say to people, yeah, every time, even when we won the Champions League, we win in the Premier League, all of that, we're not winning because of the Glazers. Don't ever believe that. The only reason that United were even successful after the takeover of the Glazers family in 2005 was only because of Alex Ferguson, not because of the Glazers. Alex Ferguson was on a mission. His mission was to knock Liverpool off their perch, get that 19th league title, then get the 20th, and then leave. And he did that exactly. And he wasn't going to mess about. Now he left the club in the best possible position, champions, young kids, and all of that. And then what do? They bring in someone who doesn't even know how to run a football club, someone who doesn't even know how to spot a football talent. Like Ed Woodward said, right now, only this year he admitted that he doesn't even know how to spot a talent. Just think about that. And it's been 8 years of misery, failure after failure. And every time that we had any sort of success, he would either not back the manager or that manager will end up getting sacked. And the manager is always getting the blame. But right now, Woodward is out. Let's see if these guys can bring in someone that's better than him, someone who knows football. But I have no faith in them at all. I don't think they're gonna do that. You know what they're gonna do? They're just gonna bring in another banker, someone who's just like another Ed Woodward, basically. There's nothing that is going to change as long as these guys are in charge. They have ruined Man United, and now they have ruined football. Because think about this: the three guys that are leading this in England are, as I was saying before, John Henry and Glazers and Stan Kroenke. Now you got the Real Madrid guys and the Barcelona guys. They need the money. These guys definitely they do, but they wouldn't have a leg to stand on if it wasn't for Liverpool and Man United. These are two historical clubs, man. Come on, like for them to do this and to walk away from and to try to break away from this Premier League, the best league in the world, yeah. Not in terms of quality, I believe, but because of the entertainment value of it, the amount of money that they're able to bring into the Premier League, because of the TV rights, is unbelievable. So why would you want to lose that? It doesn't make any sense. It's like me coming to you, yeah, and saying like, oh, like I know you got a TV this size, but you know, if you come to me and we'll share like a smaller size and something like that, but it's ridiculous. Why would you want to share with someone else when you can actually have all the success? Why would you want to bring Real Madrid and Barcelona back to the top of football when you have right now left them in the mud? Right now, you're on top. You have the best coaches, you have the best players, and the TV money is right there for you. Messi and Ronaldo, okay, Messi is going to retire soon. Ronaldo already left the La Liga. So you have the potential to dominate football for the next 10 years, and you want to collaborate with these guys. Why? The reason is because they don't care about football. If they cared about football, they wouldn't have done it. But because they care about making money, and because they know that they're going to get what 3 billion a year if they sign up for this, do you think they're going to say no to that? No, because these guys are criminals. All they care about is making money. And at the end of the day, it's like giving someone alcohol and getting them hooked on that, on that drinking habit, and then they continue to do that again and again and again until these guys have become addicted to money and making money all the time. So they're never ever going to stop it. So it's just is greed, is addiction to more money, and they've ruined Man United, and now they want to ruin football. So all I can say is Woodward is out. Now we need to get the Glazers out of the club. That's it.
Do you mind if I play a little bit of devil's advocate real quick? So I understand where they come from, Barcelona, Real Madrid. In terms of meritocracy and stuff and them earning the spot, they haven't really been the best recently. It's no secret. Same with United, Arsenal, arguably. Some at a 10th. These guys are in Europa, whatever, it is what it is. when you have the history and you're that big, you still generate the most revenue, obviously, because you have the biggest fan base, you have the most to pay. Like everyone wants Barca shit, but you still want to watch Barca. You still want to watch them end of the day in the Champions League. You still want to watch the big matchups, Barca versus Chelsea, Barca versus whoever. Right? Maybe if they're shit, they still have that pull power, you know. So in terms of that, I understand why they want the compensation and the money guarantee year in year out, because although they might not be the best, they have the most pull and they have the biggest fan bases. They still have the most money generated and the most things they have to pay for, in terms of stadium and like fees or whatever, like wages, player wages are crazy. So no, sorry about that. But yeah, that's my point. Devil's advocate, and I understand why they do it.
Yeah. No, I do understand it exactly. Like for these guys, like for example, now, yeah, let me give you an example. When the Premier League was getting restarted and the big clubs wanted to have five substitutions, just like in Spain and Germany, the other 14 clubs in this country said no, because you guys have the bigger squad. So we're not going to give you the ability to even make more substitutions so you can even be as more. But like right now, if you finish, the team that's going to finish 20th this season is Sheffield United. They are going to end up getting more money than the team that's finishing top four in Spain, in Italy, in Germany. So think about that. Why is that possible? It's because of the teams like United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and City. I get that at the end of the day, because they have fan base all over the world. But there is better ways you can go on about it. This is not the way to do it. You cannot say to football fans, football players everywhere, just ignore what 108 was it 100 years of European history. Just all of that wiped out. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay, Abdi's been absolutely breathing fire through his nostrils. Smile dragon been literally going ham, ripping Man United apart, saying Man United are gonna get another yes man like Ed Woodward, whatnot. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree with anything that Abdi said? Disagree? Thoughts?
Yeah. What Abdi's saying is basically stuff I was going to touch on. Obviously, firstly, thank God Ed Woodward's gone. That guy really, really, in terms of signings, and this guy didn't really know, he doesn't really know football. Like, so him going was a big, big thing. Like, so I have to kind of like thank Chelsea again. Arena, I know you're a bit gassed, but I have to thank Chelsea because, if that didn't happen, Ed wouldn't have gone, and then I feel like we would have still been gone. Obviously, we're climbing up now. Like there's progress, but you know, I feel like we're nearly there. But Ed Woodward at the same time, he's a funny guy. So obviously, I'm definitely happy about that. The Super League thing, I understood the angle they were trying to get with in terms of trying to form this league because they were trying to bring the American format. I'm a big NBA fan, NFL fan as well. So like, and I kind of like my thought process was, okay, boom, they're gonna try and implement the league and then do like a playoff kind of thing. Think stuff like that really, but I don't think that would work in football in general. Like that does not work. Like, so I'm happy that all the teams have eventually pulled out. So yeah, I agree. I basically agree with what Abdi said, pretty much.
Okay, yeah. The only devil's advocate I could play to the playoff system is the championship. Absolutely spice the championship up. But there is a question for Ricky from Saeed. Or Sal? Is that Sal? Ricky, how do you want to change the situation in England? Answer that however you want to, Rick.
How do you want to change the situation in England? What do you mean? The Premier League? the football system.
Yeah,
Some
let,
people to change the
Everything.
situation.
Everything. You just got to tackle it. You just got to attack the question. It's open
yeah,
ended.
let us know, say, because he's been going ham in the comments. Like he's this is what he's even typing now in the comment section. Trying to give
I'm reading the comments right now.
Who's the uncle? Who's the uncle?
But yeah, I've just got I'm just gonna give my take very quickly
Go
from an
on.
Arsenal
Go
point of
for it.
view about this. What if Said wants to reply, he can. By the time I'm done, I'm gonna make this quick. This what I've seen from this European Super League is absolutely disgusted me to the back teeth. This is the first time in my life where I've looked at football and seriously actually literally questioned like, yo, is this like I feel like an old man, like, yo, is this gonna is this something that's gonna pass me by and I'm just not gonna like it and I'm gonna be that old man sitting in the corner like, oh, I remember the days when we used to have league football and it used to be better. I'm literally the first time in my life where I've been in that headspace where it's like, wow, Stan Kroenke, no surprise at all that he's part of this nonsense. And now that it's over, you see what John Henry did. All our owners are absolute scumbags. Like I'm just gonna say that as it is. Chelsea and City, they don't even need to be in the Super League, and they still went in there just for the perception of not being left behind. Well, that's the way I see it. But it's like the fact that the Liverpool owner came out with a video apologizing. Yes, it's a bit hollow, and we know it's a PR move, but I mean, like Stan Kroenke would never do that. He would never even do that. I've known people who have gone to the AGMs at Arsenal, yeah, the meetings, and Stan Kroenke is sitting there silent. He's not answered a single question. This guy is the most, and this guy is the most. If you know me, you've seen me Stan Kroenke. I could be here for an hour. I didn't do this video by myself, but one day I'm gonna rant about Stan Kroenke. I've probably done it already, but it's like, wow, I'm I'm absolutely speechless at this. And there's a protest happening at the Emirates Stadium on Friday, and I might go to that. I might go to that. I might vlog today, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Saud has.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Oh, so I mean that people have no influence, the fans have nothing to say. Well, yeah. Carry on, Lombe. Carry on. It's fine.
What did the guy say?
So, okay, so the initial question was, how do you want the situation to change the situation in England? Then the follow-up to that, since Ricky was asking, what do you mean by that? People, I'm guessing.
Okay, well, the fans do have something to say. The problem is that fans are not influencing the clubs, and that is problem. So the problem is that what we had in the last within 48 hours, that you've had news break out that six English clubs were going to break out and create their own league and create competition. They can't get relegated, can't get promoted. To me, that's no competition, that's no sport. But in terms of what you're saying about influence and what in situation is, I would get legislation involved. You know, it needs to be, it needs to become strict on the top level. And what I mean by that is in terms of money and funding, but unfortunately, I think the last 10 years it's become way out of control. And now that this government has relied quite a lot now on the football income, they're just making people accepting, and I'm just worried because I think even though we've had this protesting in the last 24 to 48 hours, and every club has withdrawn from it so far. By the way, did you guys know that there's still a website up that promotes the 6 clubs from the country? Well, all 20 clubs. And by the way, they're saying that it would be 19 clubs. Then one club, luckily, gets to be in there every year. And I get that, because then if that happens, doesn't want to get relegated. So they're not making sense with their plans. They have not planned this at all. But I think what I would do is get government in and prevent this from happening again, because I don't think this is the end of it.
I agree. I just like to note the way they addressed it. Obviously, we all know completely wrong, backwards as hell. Sunday night, like midnight in the UK. What? It's not.
Huh?
I heard it was a leak as well. I heard it was a leak. It wasn't actually like a planned thing. Someone leaked it and then they just released it whenever. But I don't know. Like it didn't seem very methodical. It didn't seem very well planned. I think it will be done better. A lot of people are saying, potentially it was like a, I don't know, like an incentive almost to try and get something else, just a better reform, for Champions League. This is just to scare them and be like, we mean business, we can do it. So give us what we actually want, which is more reform, more money for the Big Six or the top 12, whatever. And in Champions League, I think maybe it was that. Who knows? I think it will come back as well. Definitely. This is it in the end.
Okay, then now this leaves me to my question, because the last thing I'm gonna say about that, Aaron, you're correct in the way they announced it was terrible. I remember hearing the murmurs of it during watching that terrible Arsenal versus Fulham game, and I remember seeing the murmurs of it. I'm just like, ah. And I remember as well what the worst thing was, seeing Wenger. Wenger's a big time conspiracist guy. Wenger conspiracies every single press conference. He'd be like, well, look, the Super League will be coming in the future. Every time he used to go on those rants, I used to think, oh, this is probably something that's going to happen in 10, 15 years, like somewhere down the line. Wenger's talking mad conspiracies, but it's like this probably happens down the line. Like, I remember Wenger said something about the fans are gonna control the games via apps on the phone and stuff, and Wenger says them things, isn't it? So I'm like, I keep hearing him say Super League and stuff, and I'm just like, And Wenger left in 2018, and we're here now with the proposal in the 48-hour day. I'm just like, oh, Wenger's right. Like, this is crazy, and the way they've dropped all this without consulting any of the fans, the members of the clubs involved. How can you not consult those people? Like, how can you not tell your own manager about it during the planning of it? How can you not tell the players that there's too much to go in? It's an absolute disgrace. And then on top of that, what it does to the rest of the league, it just demonstrates I don't know, God complex. But now it comes to the final question. With all that said, right? Kay, I'll start with you first, then we'll go to Abdi. Let's start with the Man United boys, since you guys and Arsenal were in the thick of this nonsense. It was spearheaded, right? What do you think should be done now? What happens now to our boards and our owners? What
Obviously, I don't. I don't think it's a hard one, because where United are in the league right now, people are saying deduct points. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but what they've caused, it won't be surprising if it does. I won't be surprised if the Prem dish out huge fines. But it's kind of like the boards are. It's the way they announce it, like you said. Like, it just shows like they try to do it sneaky, like in a sneaky way. It was a coward. It was a coward move. The way obviously it was announced, the way the board, like I said, the board haven't even apologized. Like, like obviously it's probably not sincere that with other like Kroenke and Arsenal boards and Liverpool boards apologizing, but at least like show that you care. well, they probably don't care, but at least show they do. But yeah, for me, I just think there's gonna be the Premier League might dish out big fans definitely in these clubs. I don't know about the deducted points thing though. I hope that doesn't happen, but
What
I won't be
what
surprised.
what do you reckon should happen to your board? I'm saying this in the context of this is all happening now.
Yeah.
All I've brought all of us together because all of our clubs are in the Super League, right?
Yeah.
Now that it's ended,
Yeah.
and what does that leave? Okay, Ed Woodward is the first blood sacrifice, the first goal to be sacrificed in this post the thing, right? So,
Yeah.
what do you think should happen now? Would you want the Glazers out? Do you
Oh,
just want
definitely.
to hire a better appointment than Ed Woodward?
No, for
What
me,
see happening
for,
now?
for me, the Glazers they need to go. They're not gonna go. I know that because of the value of United, but they need to go, man. For me personally, what they've done throughout the years, like Abdi said earlier, Sir Alex kind of covered them, like with obviously the success we've had. But now things are coming out, like what they've been doing, like it's for me personally, I would prefer them out of the club. They just don't care.
Can I ask?
Go on.
Can I ask you though, like, how long were the Glazers? How long they been there for? I don't know.
Since 2005.
You know, since 05.
Yeah.
Okay, so but like since 05, obviously United has always been known, even before 05, for producing good young talent, and that's where most of your talent comes from. Obviously, you buy from abroad as well, but you've always had good young talent from the academy and stuff. Do you think the Glazers had any, like, because you can blame them for everything that's gone bad now, but can you credit them for anything that went right before? Because you guys been winning. You know what I mean? You've been winning.
Yeah, true. It's true. Oh, maybe they hired the right. I don't know. You can say they hired the right people. No, actually, Sir Alex is for me personally. Like I said, Sir Alex gets the most credit. I don't know if I could give the Glazers the biggest credit. Obviously, they brought in the piece, but the money, and for me, Sir Alex gets all the credit personally.
Yeah, fair enough. Because maybe you guys probably know the organization better than me. I don't know who organizes from top to bottom. Is it, a director of football like Ed Woodward, or is it Sir Alex Ferguson that had a big hand in it, or is it the owners that dictate everything, like the Glazers? I doubt it's the Glazers that dictate everything. Probably someone like Ed Woodward who did most of it. But yeah, I'm just interested to see, because since 05, you guys have been very successful.
No, this is what happens, Harun. These guys, they bought United in 2005, and you have to remember when they bought Man United. United were a very, very, very successful football club. So for them, they didn't make United what United were. You see what I mean? Like what United are right now. All they've done is take dividends out of the football club. Right now, in this pandemic area where football is crying out for money, you know what they're doing? They're taking £100 million just as dividends. That £100 million can buy you Holland, Sancho, whoever you want, bro. It can get you Harry Kane if you add 20 million more. It can sort out the payment for the staff, for the players, whatever. But instead, these guys are taking dividends in this pandemic world. They have basically United, where we were in debt before, but they've transferred that debt into United now. So now when they actually leave, that debt will still be on United. It will have nothing to do with them. They can literally just walk away right now with all the dividends that they had every single year, on top of more profit. And not only that, the money that they take out of this football club, they go and invest it in the sports, in the American sports. You will never see them celebrating at United the way they celebrate their victories in the sports, in the American sports. So this is another thing, yeah. You look at Chelsea Stadium, you look at the new Tottenham Stadium, you go to the Emirates, 3 beautiful stadiums, bro. I've been to Old Trafford. It's disgusting, man. The Wi-Fi is ridiculous. The roofs are leaking. Yeah, man. It looks like, it doesn't even look like, this is a true story. Yeah, you guys can
Don't
research
say
about this
Tottenham.
if you want. Now,
Don't you
Tottenham.
dare say White Hart Lane.
Shut up.
You guys have got Ultron Stadium. I'm not gonna. We call it a toilet bowl, but really and truly, the
The best stadium,
Yeah.
the best. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful, man. I love it. But listen to this, yeah. Ibrahimovic said this when he first walked into United. Within the first week, bro, he looked around and he said, "Is this a super club?" He couldn't believe the facilities. He couldn't believe it, man. Like the guy came from PSG. The level you would expect here when you go from PSG, when you go to United, to go to a super football club where everything is fantastic, but it's not. Everything is backwards. That's because they don't invest into the football club. The money that they invest in it, yeah, is peanuts. Is a little bit of money compared to what they get in return. United win the Champions League. United's shares go up and higher and higher. United win the league, their shares go higher. These guys are getting money. So whatever they invest, if it's 20 million, 30 million, academy, whatever, is nothing. You look at Man City. Yeah, I live in Manchester, bruv. And you can tell when you go to the Etihad Stadium, that whole community, and compared to Old Trafford, bruv, it's like two different cities. I'm telling you, this is the reality. There's City are leaving United behind. That's because they have owners who try. Well, they're just trying to prove that they care about the football club, or because they're from Arabs, so from Qatari, so they don't feel like they're accepted within the Western world. But these Americans feel like they're accepted, so they don't have to prove anything. It's just like when Obama got elected, and he felt like he couldn't. He felt like he didn't have to help the black people as much as he had to help white people, because if he helped the black people, he'll be like, "Oh, you're just a black president helping the black people." So now I'm going off to politics, but you get the idea what I mean.
Yeah.
Or we'll get to racism at the end of this with the way everything's been swiftly dealt with in 48 hours. Or we'll get to racism. Rick.
Hey, but thank you, real quick. Thank you, Abdi and Khalifa, for just answering that question, because it was a bit unclear to me. Yeah.
That's fine. Rick, Daniel Levi, Tottenham, in all of this, just sacked Jose Mourinho. Unbelievable how that news has escaped and underneath the in the basement of this European Super League madness. Like, you guys literally played the game today against Southampton with Ryan Mason as manager. And to be fair, the team looked like it had a good vibe. Okay, maybe Mason needs to. You don't know what you're going to expect from him tactically, but the team looked relieved of something. But what do you think should happen now? In fact, I want to know what you think should happen from Daniel Levi, the board, the manager as well at this point.
It's I've been speaking a lot about this to a lot of people. I'm a big believer that Daniel Levy and the other investors from Tottenham were probably one of the first secret ones to sort of get this sorted and be interested in the Super League. It could be true for Tottenham Hotspur. I personally think they're shooting themselves in the foot. They're not. By them doing this, they're going to stop allowing other small clubs to grow. With the competition in the country, you have got 5 tiers, 6 tiers, 10 tiers. It is slowly growing. Leagues are slowly growing. You can see a team from League 2 up to the difference of clubs. And not just financially, it's growth.
Wait, sorry, Rick. And everybody else, you mind just muting your mics while
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. You can hear the residual sounds. Go on, carry on, Rick. Sorry.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay. Sorry, what was I saying? Yeah, so the group of clubs. So for Tottenham, I think you shouldn't punish the actual team. You can't punish the actual club. Just what Tay was saying earlier on, I kind of agree that quite possibly there might be a punishment or point being deducted, but I don't think it's fair on the rest of the team. Everyone is being kept in the dark but the investors and the shareholders of the club. So I think that you need to destroy their dividends, their bonuses, whatever they get, and donate them to a charity. It's as simple as that. That's the only way you're going to punish them, because otherwise, if players are getting fined, there's going to be points deducted. Players are just going to make rational decisions. And I don't want that Tottenham to lose Song and Harry Kane. I definitely don't. I think Harry Kane's gone next season anyway. He will definitely go. But who knows? But my thought is don't punish the Spurs players. don't punish the Spurs fans. Just attack their investors. Yeah.
So what do you think of Daniel Levi? As your opinion changed? Like, did you have a stance before with Daniel Levi and Tottenham's board that has been affected at all by this European Super League?
Daniel Levy, he's grown with the club. He's been there for quite a while now. But I've seen him the last few years really be interested in the team and a huge interest in operations, and that's because he's grown a personal love. He's got a personal love connection to the team, and I do believe that. However, he's a businessman, utmost foremost, and has to answer to self-esteem other individuals and organisations. So I punish them all. My personal punishment will be to publicly mock them, get them on this program, the sports badge, but I would publicly mock them, because they've got money, they've got all the money in the world. You could give them a 6-month prison sentence. Is that too harsh? I think huge embarrassment will be up on my sleeve.
I see. Fair enough. And what do you think? Do you think Chelsea? Just last question, Ricky. Do you think, Spurs will have a manager in by the cup final on the weekend? Or do you think it's going to be Ryan Mason? Or what do you think for the cup final, actually?
Do you want my opinion before the Spurs game tonight or after?
Say that again, sorry?
Did you want my opinion before we play Southampton tonight or after?
After, right now, present moment.
I think we're going to do it. I was lucky to have watched us lift the trophy last time we won it at Wembley. I was very fortunate to get a ticket. I was offered £1,000 for my ticket. This was a long time ago, guys. £1,000 back then,
When?
2006, 2007. It was worth a lot of money. But I reckon that we are going to absolutely do it. I think it's going to be tight. I think Man City are going to be more nervous than what they anticipated, especially after our performance with Southampton today. And don't forget, when Juan de Ramos won the League Cup, he was only managing teams for a couple of months. He didn't create that team to win that trophy. So why can't we do it again? So 2 months.
I think you guys deserve it. I think you deserve it.
Oh, well.
It's about time. When I say they deserve it, I just feel sorry for them.
Yeah,
I just
don't-
want to say again that I'm a Tottenham fan again. So, when Mourinho got elected, Mourinho got appointed for the Tottenham job. They became my enemy because I can't stand Mourinho anymore. I don't ever want to see Mourinho managing any English football club ever again. I think he's done. So Tottenham for me have always been a club that I've just been like, yeah, it's Tottenham. You know, they're not bad. They're not like us, you know, or Liverpool or City, you know, like Chelsea, you know, the other rivals. I always used to be like, yeah, Tottenham, you know, as much my enemy's enemy is my friend. That's how I always used to see it, Tottenham. So because my rivalry with Arsenal, I always used to be like, yes, come on, Tottenham, win this derby. So now, this final, no Mourinho, this is the final that I want you guys to win. And I'm sure it's going to be difficult, but you never know.
To be honest, I think, I think maybe now, because Mourinho's brand of football at Spurs was getting toxic, man. And that shit worked at the start of the season, but people figured that shit out. And now, I don't know, man. I don't know. He's some of the results he's been churning out weren't good. So maybe he lost the locker room or something. Maybe this like little. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I hated on Daniel Levy for doing this. I was like, is he crazy? A week before you mess everything up. But this could be the little spark they needed, a little kick up the ass, a little bit of change a week before that gets them, you know, the new energy, new vibe. You know what I mean? So I think it could be a masterclass, low key, from Daniel Levy.
Well, okay. The only thing I will say about it is a no comment. Yeah, that's what I'll say from an Arsenal fan's perspective. It's been enjoyable. Yeah, hating Mourinho. You know, when Mourinho pairs up with one of your rivals that you hate, it's like it's the perfect combination. I can hate him with all my heart. Like it feels right. Like he's at Man United and Tottenham. And it was like, yes, okay. Now when he loses, I can really get stuck into this. But anyway, yeah, hatred aside for a moment. Yeah. Honestly, like, on a serious note, like all the best as an Arsenal fan, I've got to say, all the best to Tottenham. I know that feeling of having a 10-year plus drought. I know that feeling. Trust me. Everyone's battering you. Everyone's being relentless. I know it. Trust me. It's. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And I'm saying this to Tottenham, so best of luck, but I hope Man City wins. But still, now, Harun, I've come to you last because we can tell we're all seething with our clubs, right? With our clubs, you're the only one who's wearing the flipping Tiger Woods smile right now. You've been smiling throughout the whole damn show, man. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think what should happen with your owners, mate. Are you happy with what's going on? What are you thinking?
I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, Khalifa and Ricky, everyone touched on it. I've touched on it as well a little bit about the points deduction. Would it be fair? Would it be not? I think we're all on the same page with that. All I'm gonna add to that is, we should be let off a little bit extra because we were the first ones to do it. Our fans, our owner is the one who led. We're the saviors. I mean, it's not a joke. We're the saviors. We straight up saved a lot of football. Cool. We were the first ones. Doesn't mean it wasn't going to happen, but leadership was shown. That's what I'm going to say. Leadership was shown. If anyone's losing 10 points as punishment, we need to lose 8. That's what I'm saying. So, I don't know. I think.
That's a funny one. That's you know what Chelsea are, yeah. You're like you say we're all one body, yeah. You guys have amputated our leg, yeah, and then you've bandaged it up and patched it up.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. The leg in the first place.
Yeah, Chelsea. Nah, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that because, bro, in all honesty, with like the world being globalized and stuff and people becoming richer, there's like a millionaire every so and so minutes or something in the world now. It's crazy. Like it was always going to get to a point where wealth was going to come into football as the world becomes more wealthier in general. It was only a matter of time. And obviously it happening in 2003 was very early, in my opinion. And it low-key did change the landscape, I think, too soon. But nonetheless, there was always going to be one person first. It happened to be Chelsea. Am I upset about that? No. Am I happy that, it happened? Yes, because it was going to happen anyway. Yeah, I think, all jokes aside, though, Abramovich, Chelsea probably deserves the same punishment as everyone else because we were just as complicit. We were there. We were going to do it, until fans stepped in and, public scrutiny and stuff and everything came together. So I think if anyone is getting punished, they should all get punished the same. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just got to say my 2 cents on this, right? From an Arsenal fan's point of view. I am, when it comes to Stan Kroenke, I was done time ago already. But now, I'm like, I like, that apprentice, the apprentice guy. What's the guy who makes a spoof the apprentice? They get out, you're fired. What's the name? A-Dot, mate. I'm A-Dot.
Alan Sugar.
Yeah, literally, you're finished. You're fired. That's literally the Stan Kroenke. Because, first of all, zero. I looked at that. Someone sent it in a group chat today. 0% investment from Stan Kroenke. 0%. Like that Tottenham for 1%. Like Tottenham, people say Tottenham are frugal. 1%, A Stan Kroenke 0% investment. I'm looking. Do you know what hurts me? Yeah, it's almost like this that make you start reflecting on the whole thing. Like, okay, we moved to the Emirates Stadium. The Europa League final. We got battered by Chelsea. Yeah, who's there in the stadium? The guy who's not allowed in the country. Who's there with the green? I've got the match. Is who's there with the green band saying stuff on it? Present Roman Abramovich. He's there with the stadium, like hiding in the corner next to Eden Hazard, giving him a hug, like, yeah, you done your thing. Where's our boy? Where's Stan Kroenke? He's not present. He's not present in anything. And now he's trying to go into this selfish league, right, without it being in merit. Yeah. And it just, there's nothing that I can say Stan Kroenke has done for us. And then what sums it up as well is even Gazidis over there, at AC Milan, talking nonsense as well. It's all linear. These people are just, they I can't put it into words how much rage. Like if I go to this protest on Sunday, man, I'm bringing the full armory, mate, the whole weapon, all the weapons, mate, the pitchforks, the cannon, all of it, mate. I'm done with this regime. I don't want to see them again. I don't care. I'll take Dangote. Like people say, oh, he might not be the answer. Bit of African corruption. Oh no, I can feel that in my gut. It ain't going to be perfect with Dangote, but I'd rather have him than Stan Kroenke. This guy doesn't give a damn about trying to change our format. And come out put a face to anything to do with this, to address the fans, to the manager, anything. Yeah. I am absolutely done. Yeah, sorry. Go on, Harold.
I was just going to say real quick, I think it is difficult, though, to find a billionaire or, an owner who's, one, willing to finance a lot for the club, and also one who's deeply in love with football. You know what I mean? Like I think it's always going to be one or the other. It's very difficult to find that mix. That's why, like, when you find it,
do you know what the thing is, Harold? I understand what you're saying, in terms of it's hard to find a billionaire in the first place, let alone one who's going to invest in a football club, let alone all of that. But all I want, I gave the stat at the beginning, 0%. Like, can we have 1%? Like, can we have 5%? Can we have anything? There's nothing at all in this entire Stan Kroenke regime that endears me to this guy. Nothing at all. At all. Not even one thing that I can go, go on, Stan Kroenke, I'll give you for that. Apart from being an absentee owner, that can benefit you if you've got the right team in place, but it doesn't even have that. And the only time when he reacts is when his money's being hit in the pocket. That's the only time when he reacts, just like now. So I'm like, I have nothing positive to say about Stan Kroenke at all. I'm done, finished.
It's time to go.
Literally, R.I.P. Claude, fam. You get what I'm saying? But time to go. And last thing we've got to address on this, yeah, we've all come together in one voice here. Yeah, we're all saying the same. We've got fans from different clubs here, and we're all under one voice in agreement for probably the only time you're ever going to get a podcast like this from us. Yeah, we're all in one agreement, which is incredible. Yeah, but now this is one thing I just gotta touch on. Yeah, how have they dealt with this UEFA thing so swiftly? Yeah, when it hits them in the pocket with money, but then when it comes to racism, that you're seeing, Henri's deactivated his social media account. Yeah, by himself. He's by himself deactivated his social medias, and nothing's happened. Like nothing's happened. Rashford is getting ridiculousness. Every single black player, just all these players are just getting racially abused, literally after every single game without fail. Yeah, like I'm talking like to a piss. It's almost like it's a trend now. People are using it to take the piss now. Like I'm seeing it. It's like it almost like it has to happen now. A bit of racism. It doesn't complete the whole checklist of the weekend now if there's no bit of racism on the players. That's how bad it's become. Yeah, but now we're in this situation now where all these guys, the UEFA, yeah, Super League, the UEFA and Premier League, and all these guys get affected. Now they start clamping down on it, and they get the government involved. All of this action has been taken swiftly. It's been ended in two. This has been manifesting the Super League for years, apparently. And they've taken care of it in 2 days, right? Even the fans have come out. So my question is, how this is almost like a question that nobody can answer, but it's the question that's just the elephant in the room right now. How can they sort all this stuff out and do basically absolutely nothing for this? And the guy who got the ban for the Glenn Kamara incident from Slavia Prague, 10 games, you know. What the sort of fans are they talking about imposing on the Super League? Points deductions, clubs banned from the national teams. This. Who wants to have a go and answer this? Because, bruh, what can I say?
I see the outrage and stuff. Let me just try. I see the outrage because the best we can get is a banner that says say no to racism and just take the knee before a game for 30 seconds or whatever. What's that going to really achieve? You know what I mean? At the same time, something like the Super League, I feel like it was reversible. It's something tangible. You can measure how, once you've done it, you can undo it. With racism, obviously, is very deep seated and it's not as easy to get rid of. It takes like a big process, and it takes time as well. It's not, you can't just be like, okay, we've decided no more racism, because it's everywhere, man. It's been around for centuries and it's gonna, I think, be around for a little bit longer. So I think at the same time, saying that, there can be a lot more done. There can always be more done. Always. Heftier fines. You know what I mean? Bigger, punishments for, like, if your team acts a certain way, like Slavia Prague did, get them out of the Europa League. Get them out, bro. You know what I mean? They shouldn't even be there. That's the kind of punishment we want to see. Just incentives for some things, and I don't know the measures that can be taken. Obviously, I haven't thought about it enough, number one, and I'm not on a board somewhere, but there definitely can be a lot more done to prevent things happening, Yeah.
Absolutely, and what I wanted to see happen, which I've been asking everybody after that Glenn Kamara and the guy got banned for 10 games. I was like, I beg you, please ban this guy for 365 days. Yeah, a full year. Yeah, out of the game. You're not allowed to train. You're not allowed to get paid. You're not allowed to anything to do with football for 365 days. You want to be racist? That's what you get. Why should you be costing your team with racism? your team should be looking at you after that and being like, why? Why would you do it? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm like, how are you not doing something like that? Like 10 games. What do they honestly think that it's gonna do for?
It's a slap on the wrist, literally. Little slap on the wrist.
Slap on the wrist. Go on, Rick.
I'll keep this really short and sweet, but when obviously we had it with George Floyd, you know, and we're in an era now where everyone is getting annoyed, everyone's getting frustrated, actions are not happening, and it's in football. You know, racism is in football. But the problem is, the reason why it's continuing is just only two things. One is education, starts from the youth, nothing more. It's not something that you develop when you're 40 or 50 years of age. You know, you're born with it. And number two, the crime is not seriously taken. You know, the youth and this country is probably one of the softest countries in the world for crime anyway. You know, you can get away with murder. You can go to prison for 5 years for manslaughter or murder in this country. In America, they slam book at you. However, when it comes to racism, you get a slap on the wrist. It is no serious punishment, and that is the problem. The minute you start getting serious punishments happening with racism, it will start to spread. But no one's seriously punishing for these crimes. So that's why nothing is happening. And it's so frustrated because me, as part of Oscar as well, it is, I can see it from their eyes now, and it's so demonizing to watch and listen to the time. The minute they start taking the crime seriously, then we can start to look at change.
I completely agree with that. The punishments have not been serious enough. They've been teasing punishments, but they haven't really put their fist up and been like, no, we're not tolerating this nonsense. So I completely agree, Ricky. Kay, do you have anything you just want to air out about this? Because, bruh, I've asked the question, but there's no right answer to this. So
100%. The punishments that racism that they give for racism in football is weird. Like in a real life scenario, you're working full-time job, you do stuff like that, you say things like that, you're out. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, they need to kind of normalize. You know, to get rid of you know, do the investigation and all that. Obviously, once proven out, like you know, like if they give punishments like that, I feel like okay, boom, people will start to like, what do you call it? Oh, okay, cool. Like serious now. Like you wanna play racist and try and get away with it. You can't get away with it. Boom, you're getting fired. You're gone. You know. Obviously, try and bring like that real life scenario into the football scene, like the working life scenario into the football scene in terms of punishments for being racist. So I feel like if they implement that, that could definitely help for sure. Because obviously, raising awareness is definitely important, but it's not enough, you know. So I feel like those type of measures could work, you know. But yeah, that's my opinion on it for sure. Punishments are not good at all.
absolutely, and I'm starting to see the general consensus here. Abdi, anything?
Yeah, so I echo every single word that you guys have said, and UEFA, you know what? Yeah, this whole Super League thing, we have been completely opposite. We opposed it. We said no to it. It's been rejected from the game completely. And you look at people like Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher, Sky Sports, Boris Johnson, whoever is just trying to take credit for it, and even clubs like Everton or what's it like, just all any of these clubs saying like, oh, we're against it. It's easy to say that when you're not part of it, when you haven't been invited. Can you tell me honestly that Newcastle wouldn't be part of it if they were invited, or Aston Villa? No, no, they would have been in the middle of it, yeah. So all of these guys are every single person here is acting like, oh, the Super League is this and that. It's true. It's come here to completely destroy the football game as we know it. But we also have to keep the same energy for UEFA. We must keep the same energy for UEFA, not just for racism, but also the way money is distributed. Like, for example, for the TV rights money and all of that, the bigger clubs obviously get a lot more money, but every single team out there, they need to, like, the way UEFA invests money is not the same as they would do in England or Albania, even though Albania is still within Europe. So do you see what I mean? Like, so at the end of the day, what they need to do is they need to come up with proper legal routes here for these kind of things, not after they happen, but in advance. For example, now when that player got only 10 games, they were saying it's because there wasn't enough evidence. Now, what evidence do you need when the camera crew is there? There's players around, there's medical team everywhere. There's like how many players on the pitch, and every single one of them is telling you that they had exactly. So what more evidence do you need? It's because it's not their priority. But when their pockets get attacked, when Boris Johnson can see that the national sport of this country is slipping away from him, what does he do? He's gonna get involved. He he held a Cobra meeting, yeah, an emergency meeting that he didn't even hold for COVID-19, bro. Just think about that. COVID-19 was going on. Everything, coronavirus was just getting started. My guy was on holiday, bro. He missed 5 Cobra meetings. And because football was getting away from this country, he held a Cobra meeting. If he took that same energy when it comes to racism, when it comes to players like Suarez, racially abusing a football player, when it comes to Rangers player getting abused, and just like it's nothing to do with the fans here. Your own players on the pitch are abusing each other racially. Now you need to have that same energy, and because at the end of the day, what Kay was saying was right. You need to have the same energy. For example, at workplace, if someone was being racial, they would get suspended, or they would get thrown out, or they would get sacked. But the only difference here is these football players have a lot of money, and they can just lawyer up. And UEFA, they don't have the financial possibilities to go on a legal battle with all the football players in the world. But you know who has that power? Governments have that power. All the European countries have that power. Now, England and the UK, they went out of Britain for Brexit, so they can make their own laws now. You wanted sovereignty, right? Yes, okay then. Make your own laws then about racism. France, make your own laws. Belgium, do the same thing. All these Europeans come together and work together, because when governments get involved, these things can be eradicated quickly. But as always, all we're going to see is just some meaningless slogans, say no to racism, taking the knee, just ridiculous stuff. Patrick Bamford is a hero. Right now, Patrick Bamford is a hero, man. The way he came up and he spoke like that, we need more white guys to speak like that, not the black players. We need white players to come out and say exactly what that man said. He's an absolute hero, man.
Yeah, honestly, agreed. Just one quick thing, I don't want to delay it too much more, but what you said about government stepping in and being the difference, you have to then look at governments themselves, and if it's in their best interest to tackle it themselves, what you have to do is look at the media, and like Raheem Sterling, for example. You know what I mean? It starts with shit like that. They can't even crack down on the Sun, Daily Mail and shit, doing what they do. That's where it starts. That's who influenced the general public. You know, if the government really wanted to make changes, they could have done that a long time ago. It didn't start with football, and it's not going to end with just football. It's going to end, as Abdi said, everywhere else, with the government, with the media, It just needs to be tackled all at once. And now that we're coming out of lockdown, the fans are coming back into stadiums. We have a very good opportunity, I think, to really crack down on it and like impose proper punishments, proper rules and stuff. Because, well, if you think about it, BLM protests, like there's a real change. Now fans come back into the stadium. I think it's momentum. You know, it should definitely be used.
Okay, so I agree with everything everybody has said, and we've gone back into that somber, hopeless feeling that we had when the Super League was being announced, mate. That's how this is the mode that we're in.
It's
But
just the reality, mate. Like
But
it's
yeah,
just the reality.
exactly. But look now, yeah. At the end of the day, the general consensus is what doesn't affect their pockets, they will not act on. Plain and simple. But at the same time, we are also involved in that as the public. You know, the governments, they have a responsibility, but we are also involved in that because just a thought, right? Just a thought. This is me living in Disneyland, Wonderland, right? But just imagine we all came together like we did in the European Super League. Boris Johnson, the people in the public, the public figures, all of that came forward and came up against racism. What? This is the worst thing about it. Is what incident is it gonna have to take to bring us all together like that? That's the one question I almost don't want to find out because at the end of the day, no one's doing anything now. And it's waiting for an incident like that. George Floyd wasn't enough. Put that in your head. But anyway, guys, this will turn absolutely sour. But I just wanted to address it because at the end of the day, right, this is even all the stuff that's been happening with George Floyd this week, right, which has been put to the back burner because of Super League, which just sums up my point. Right, but it's like this is serious stuff. Like everyone needs to get involved in racism, and it's not going to sort itself out. It shouldn't have to take an incident, a massively terrible incident, for it to happen. Because we've been here for, as you know, 400 years, whatever, how many years, maybe even more than that, before the record started. Mate. That was just the time when the records began to be like, okay, now 400 years. Maybe it was 600 years ago. Who knows? But it's just like this is bad that it's where money doesn't go, no one cares. That's a sour indictment. But at the end of the day, guys, we're gonna end it here, yeah, and we're gonna end back on a positive note, yeah. We stopped the evil, guys. We used evil to stop double evil, right? And we got our
Yeah.
Last question I'm gonna ask you guys, yeah, for the goal. Top 4 predictions now. This is hot. Okay, come on.
United are out.
Give me your top 4 prediction. Who's winning the league? Hey, I don't know what the Man City scores are at the moment, but
they won.
They won, yeah.
2-1.
Oh,
Yeah.
right, yeah, I'll take that. Top four prediction, Andy?
City, United, Leicester. I think Chelsea will sneak in, and West Ham will finish 5th, and Liverpool will finish 6th.
Okay.
I've got a feeling that West Ham, they obviously lost Rice and Antonio, so they can't keep up with Chelsea. I think Chelsea is just going to run with it. So they had a disappointing game, but I don't count that game at all against Brighton. That was nobody's head was in that game. That game should never have been played. Their heads wasn't in there. They were lucky to even not. Yeah, I think Chelsea will make it top 4. Liverpool, there's something going on with that team. I don't know what is going on with that team, but they need all the help in the world to get top 4 this season.
Okay, fair enough. Abdi, Harun, sorry.
I would say exactly the same, honestly. I think we will sneak in. I believe in Tuchel. You know what I'm saying? But West Ham, as you said, when Andy said disappointing performance, I thought he was talking about West Ham Newcastle. That shit was upsetting. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't believe they lost fucking Newcastle. But that happened. And as soon as Lingard comes out of form, they're fucked. You know what I mean? They're fucked. He's been carrying them for the last 5-10 games. So it's just a fact. So there's no Antonio, no Declan.
Can I just say that you guys were celebrating West Ham loss here? Chelsea celebrating a West Ham
100%.
loss.
Bro, I'm taking it. I don't give a fuck. I'm taking it.
It's shocking.
From now until the end of the season, I'm celebrating Leicester losses, Liverpool losses, West Ham losses, United too. Fuck it, why not?
Okay. Top 4 predictions.
Yeah, City, United. I do, from experience, I feel like Leicester might bottle it, you know. I feel like Chelsea and West Ham might sneak in and Leicester finish 5th. But you never know. That's my prediction. From experience, obviously. Was it last season when they came off top 4, right? They were doing so well and they choked it, yeah. So, yeah, for me, it would choked it probably. So, for me, yeah, Leicester might come out and then West Ham and Chelsea will sneak in.
Okay, go on, Rick. Rick, Tottenham still in with a chance?
Oh, what am I feeling?
Yeah.
It's pretty City. Got the United, but I think I want to say Tottenham. I really think Tottenham will get the 4th spot. Points. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure turning in the last few games now. There's still a lot more points to call for. We're not just 3 games away.
Okay.
So I'm.
Bro, they're 3 points away. They're 3 points away from Leicester in 3rd. That's crazy. 2 points away from 5th, 4th, and you're 6th. You're ahead of Liverpool. What the fuck? Yeah, you're on the same points as Liverpool.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But I think that we're looking at City, United, Chelsea, and Tottenham.
It can happen.
That's fine.
Okay, then, Rick.
Can I just add to that? Yeah. Sorry, Lombe. Just one thing quickly. There is a scenario where Chelsea could win the Champions League, and let's say Arsenal wins the Europa League. God forbid, yeah. But let's say that happened. Yeah. Let's say that happened, and Chelsea finish outside the top 4. Yeah. Obviously, the Arsenal are gonna finish outside the top 4, so we know that. Now, let's say that happened, yeah. let's say that happened. The team that finishes 4th is not gonna get Champions League football next season. Did you guys know that?
No.
Is crazy. It?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Too much English success.
Do you guys remember the season? Yeah? Do you guys remember the season where Tottenham finished 4th, but Chelsea won the Champions League, and Chelsea got the Champions League football?
They finished 8th, isn't it? I think. Was it 8th or 7th that season?
Yeah, 10th.
10th, yeah, damn.
Remember.
I loved it. We got 3rd on the last day. That was like, wow, wasn't it?
Harry Redknapp. Oh my days, he was so devastated. And you know what made it even worse here was the following day they made the change that the team that finishes 5th, if they win the Europa League, they would actually get Champions League football. So they don't even need to finish in the top 4 position. So that was really piss-taking for him, man.
It's confusing.
Last question for Rick. Just want to know now. If the cup finals next week, right? Next weekend, right? So if Tottenham win that cup final, what sort of effect do you think that's going to have for the rest of your season in regards to getting the top 4? Do you think that's going to motivate you, or do you reckon you're going to be in champagne mode and cigar and velvet slippers mode?
We've had a bad run. I do definitely agree with me on. We've had a huge bad run the last few games, but from tonight winning at Southampton, it doesn't look at those 3 points. We're closer to our 4th spot Champions League. What that actually means is that will give us the strength to keep going for the next 3 to 5 games. That's going to be crucial. I'm not going to pop up the champagne. There's no way Ryan Mason. There's no way Daniel Levy will let that happen because he is attached to the players and to the whole team. So there's no way they're going to just allow to be parties and everything like that. So I think it will egg them on to just push.
No. It's going to be tough to refrain from celebrating because how long has it been?
Yeah, exactly. I honestly think that it's going to have an extreme effect, whatever happens. So if you lose, it might absolutely deflate Tottenham. And I don't even mean that to be banterous, but I'm just like, that would be so, especially if Man City win it in a certain way, it will be so, at least for Tottenham, you got to give it that fight where if you lose, where it's like, okay, let's bring that revenge to the rest of the season.
This is the problem. So I'm so sorry, but this is the problem. Is that I believe that if we do lose on Sunday, I think that it's not going to get better. I think that we are really going to slip. I think we're one of those teams where if we slip, we'll slip a few times. If we rise, we'll keep on going quite a while. So I think from this win, I can't see it win now. I really cannot. I'm starting to believe that we can actually walk away from this. But before watching the game tonight, I will say in City are going to walk away from it. Walk away and win. So from today's result, I'm telling you, we're going to win the league up, and we're definitely going to qualify the top 4.
Okay, then you heard it here. You heard it here first, Tottenham guys. If anyone from Tottenham was watching, guys.
Fighting talk, yeah. I like that.
Abdi, Harun, Kay, Ricky, it's been an absolute pleasure, guys, to be finally talking as one voice. This ain't gonna happen again. Let me get that out of here. So enjoy it while it's lasted. We've had an hour and 23 minutes of synchronicity, mate. It's never gonna happen.
Yeah. Can we agree that me and you, or United Arsenal fans, that there's one thing that we don't want this season, yeah? And that's a Europa League final. Can we just agree on that?
Ah, yes, absolutely. Exactly. There you go. But if the Europa League happens, it's gonna be like Phil Neville and Gary Neville in that tunnel for Man City versus Big.
I love it. You should do a live podcast. Live broadcast that day.
Oh no.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
You should, man. And I
bro, there's enough Arsenal fans, enough United
exactly.
fans.
Yo, I am inventing a new sport for myself during that game. That 90 minutes. There's no way I'm watching it. Just
swing ball, isn't it? Swing ball.
Is it going on? What's going on? Huh?
It's gonna be a sorry sight watching me watch that game. Nah, I'm not doing it. You're not gonna get the satisfaction of it. We have to at least win a trophy so I can have that calm in my heart. Oh, you're gonna be a trophy in my life. It's gonna be a mess. Anyway,
just real quick, who's United playing in the semis?
Roma.
It's a tough game.
Yeah.
Is that light work or
Una Emery for Arsenal?
Bananas. This is literally bananas are like lying across the road.
Yeah.
If you lose to Unai, you just have to quit.
No, Lombe, I had a question for you. We didn't have enough time to ask you, but
go on then.
Do you still have like just a minute?
Yep.
Do you think that Stan Kroenke will get the opportunity to move Arsenal from North London?
Oh, if this guy moves my club from North London, I'll. No.
He's done it before in America.
You're gonna see the mugshot. You're gonna see the mugshot of me on the police. You're gonna see. You're gonna BBC.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You see, when you were saying that the guy who wanted to buy, the African guy who wanted to buy Arsenal, all the bad publicity that's going to be about him, they could have done the same thing with Stan Kroenke because he did this. He moved an NFL team, a whole franchise from its city to another city. Bro, how do you do that? How can you make a new loyalty to a whole new club in a different city? How can you just buy loyalty like that? Football is not like that.
You know
And
what's-
there was not a single bad publicity about him.
Do you know what scares me about that?
Yeah.
That's the project which is invested in. Like
Yeah.
that, you're passionate
Yeah.
about that compared to football, and you still move them.
Yeah.
Cares about my club? Nah. Let's end this. Let's end this broadcast.
No, I had to ask that question.
No. Stan Kroenke out forever and ever and ever. I'm done. We'll never probably win.
Let's keep that energy, man. Let's keep that energy. Glazers out, FSG out, Stan Kroenke out.
Abramovich in.
No, Abramovich in, Daniel Levy in, because these guys, trust me, what they're doing for their football clubs is way better than that stadium. I'm so jealous of it, bro. Man United, the brand, the name, they should have that stadium. Not Tottenham. No disrespect, mate, but
It is a glorious thing, to be fair. You drive past and you see it changing colors and all that. I'm like, wow. But anyway,
yeah.
St. Alliance Arena, Mike. But yeah. Guys, again, it's been a pleasure, yeah. And peace, yeah. Peace from the badge.
Thank you, guys.
Take
Cheers,
care.
guys.
See you later.
Yeah.